All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Ignite Initiative. I have a great friend on, Gerrick King of New Jersey. He has two gyms called King Strength. Welcome, Gerrick.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
Yeah, of course, and more than two gyms for sure. Serial entrepreneur. So Gerrick, tell us a little bit about all the businesses you have, and we'll start there.
Yeah. So I have two gyms. I have King Strength. I opened up in 2018 in Cranford. Soon after that, did a couple experiments, opened up a satellite location, closed that out, trial and error. Opened up my second formal location, Metuchen, in 2022. Did that. Opened up. I was really ambitious. Opened up a third location in Livingston at the end of 2022. That was kind of like my ego coming in the way, and we kind of learned a lot of lessons from that. We closed that one down, and now we're really focusing on Cranford and Metuchen. My wife is also a business owner, entrepreneur. She has her own optometry practice, Clarity Family Eye Care in Edison, New Jersey. So, big business family. So, working on that together, that's always been fun, talking business at home. And now my wife's family, my in-laws, and my brother-in-law, they bought a property in Seaside Heights, New Jersey for an Airbnb. So
nice.
Kind of figuring everything out and managing that as we go. So it's been fun kind of putting on it together.
So that's a lot. You guys have a full plate. Now, the Airbnb, I feel like everybody thinks it's easy. It's so hard. It's just not easy, right? I know some people that do it. So talk to us about that. That's always an interesting topic.
It's not passive income at all.
Yeah, exactly.
I think after a while it does. But I guess we got it. Last year was the first full year we did it. So a lot of it is understanding property management, knowing where you are. There's rules, regulations, things like that, and kind of knowing competitor markets, kind of seeing what businesses are pricing things at, and kind of adjusting as you go. So it's a lot of adjustment and kind of fine tuning and tweaking as you go. So that's kind of crazy. And sometimes you have a lot of renters that are younger, partying. They don't respect the space.
That's especially over there.
Yeah, especially over there. They're kind of reforming Seaside Heights and making it more family oriented. But it's still kind of a prom weekend kind of stuff.
That's where I started.
We're at that too.
Or a prom. So that's obviously seasonal, or are you getting some business in the winter too?
So we are getting business. We have a lot of, during COVID, there's a lot of travel nurses.
Okay.
A thing that we kind of did was we started looking for travel nurse contracts and trying to do long-term rentals. So travel nurses aren't really at their houses that much, and they respect the space. They just leave. They usually get written up or expensed off to that part of their contract.
So that's a good feel to get at.
That's 2-3 month contracts at a time. So we've been trying to find those, and that's been good.
Cool. So it's another business, just trying to find different leads at different parts of it.
Exactly.
So Gerrick, we met through great mentorship, and we're still a part of it. Business of Strength, Joe, Dan, and Adam. I guess maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I entered. How long have you been in it for?
I think I joined just about the same time I did.
A little bit before me, though. I think. All right, cool. And what have you learned from there? Specifically or just generally that has helped you. Sorry, we got Bear over here. So, all right, Bear, calm down over here.
Yeah.
So what have you learned that has helped you?
I think mentorship is really, really underrated, and I think as a business owner and in fitness in general, you tend to do things on your own, kind of take everything that's in front of you. You don't want to just tackle everything yourself,
of course.
So just having somebody to you have your team and your employees and everything, but having somebody at that level that understands that perspective and that point of view and that has been there is really, really valuable. So having Dan and Joe, Adam and Todd, who caught business, and even everybody else in the group that has experienced things, and kind of share experiences. That's the biggest thing.
Just get a sounding board too, right? Because they're going through the same issue.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it really is invaluable. And I think you're like me a lot. You're definitely a visionary type of person. So I feel but also I feel you want to have your hands in everything naturally, right?
Yeah.
That's me too. It's very hard to grow out of that. So that's one thing that they've really helped me out is delegating. So how's that process been for you? Because it's probably the hardest thing as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You have to delegate, but doing it is hard.
Yeah, I think when everybody, most people, when they start out in fitness and gym ownership, they start as a trainer. And when you start out as a trainer, you go full time, you work your 5 a.m. to 9 p.m., you just try to hustle. It's that's the mentality. But after a while, you kind of realize that it's unsustainable. You burn out. You realize you're like you're still making money if you really put your effort into it.
You can make a lot of money today.
Yeah, I made a lot of money when I was working in New York at the time before I was, my own thing. But it comes with sacrifices. So you sacrifice time, you sacrifice relationships, family time, and as you get older and you mature, you kind of realize that like having money is great, but like not having the other things is kind of where it comes into play.
Of course.
So I think where I'm going with it is you kind of have to realize that you want to do everything yourself. So for me, I was working. I'm like, why am I working so many hours for somebody else? And it was like I was like really, really ego driven. I thought I was hot shit.
Yeah.
I thought I could conquer the world. And then I realized like if I'm working so many hours for somebody else, I could make so much more money doing things for myself. I mean that's not really the right way to think about it. I think I wanted to be my own. I wanted to be my own boss situation. I wanted to set my own standards, set my own terms, do things like that. And then I also like I was never really money driven in that aspect. I was more focused on like my time and my time commitments.
Got it.
I wanted to be like yes, like no, if you're working like when you have a job, you're working like 40 hours a week. That's not normal. But when you're an entrepreneur, I mean, you're probably working 40, 50, 60, 100 hours a week, but it's different because it's your time and you can set when you want to work. There's some days where you want to work 5 hours, and some days you want to work 20 hours. Your own project, so it's not that bad and you don't burn out. So it's kind of figuring that out. I think the hardest part for me was when you start out and you invest so much time and effort into something, it becomes your baby. It's your passion project. It's like a child. Like everybody always, like Joe always tells me, like you got to treat your gyms like it's your baby and it's a child. And for me, like I didn't really understand that until I actually had a kid.
Yeah.
I had businesses 4, 5, 6 years before I had Grayson.
Yeah.
And until I had that, it's like a mental prioritization kind of situation. So it's kind of that, and then letting go. It's kind of understanding that you have employees that come in, you build your team, but they're also they lack experience because they're new into the field and the industry. They don't have kind of like that real world the business ownership because certifications, classes, school, college, they don't teach you that stuff. That's all stuff you learn in real life. So it's like you gotta find your people, you gotta develop them. And it takes time to develop relationships, trust, and kind of learn how to let go of things because you have like this thing that you created, your business, and it's your baby, and you love it so much, and you don't want it to get ruined, and you want to protect it. Just like it's your name, it's your pride, it's everything that you created. And I think for me, it was really, really hard to kind of let go of that. So that's like what you said, like. We're doers, we're fast action, we do things, and we try to solve problems as fast as possible, but sometimes you have to learn that working with other people, it's relationships, it's give and take. Sometimes just because I have the answer and I can do things really fast doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do it.
Yeah, you gotta
give people space to kind of learn and do things, and you have to be okay with that.
Yeah. And everything you just said, Gerrick, has nothing to do with fitness at all.
No.
So it's like you were just a personal trainer in New York, like, and then you have to do all of these things that you're brand new to. Mm-hmm. And another thing you said was like, and I'm sure this happens to a lot of people. I wonder if this happened for you. It definitely happened for me. Is like, you're working so hard for somebody else. I want to just work for myself and make more money. Yes, that's true. Then there's a stage where you find out that there's all these expenses. There's the insurance. There's an accountant fee. There's the electric bill, right? There's all these fees that you don't realize working for somebody else. So like you hit that stage where you're like, shit, like I didn't realize all this.
Yeah. So when I started, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just knew. So for context, I was working. My wife at the time was Tom preschool in New York at a SUNY.
Okay.
So like Midtown, like Bryant Park. I lived in Jersey City, near like Exchange Place, and I was commuting back and forth. It's like obviously a lot of expenses.
That was the first one, Metuchen or Cranford? Cranford, okay.
Cranford. So basically I was training at an Equinox in New York City, doing my own thing, was there for like a year-ish. Kind of realized like I when you work at Equinox, the clientele is higher class. Yeah. They're elite, they're Wall Street guys, they help CEOs, business people. I think working at Equinox is a good experience for any personal trainer because you go from being like a retro fitness or not like that personal trainer, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a different level of fitness. It's a different price range first.
Exactly.
So once you have that on your resume, you immediately go from doing sessions for $40 an hour to $110, $120, $130 an hour. So I did that, got my experience, I made my connections, I got close to my clients. I didn't take anybody. Like I started doing freelance training on the side. I was going to apartments. I was doing buying your trainer thing.
Yeah.
I did that for a little bit. But I grew up in like Central Jersey, Piscataway, near Rutgers. So a lot of my former clients from before I moved over there would hit me up. I would go home on the weekends to my parents' house until like 2017, 2018, and I'd do laundry. I would steal all their Costco stuff, like paper towels, window paper, all that stuff, and grab their food. And then my old clients would hit me up and they'd be like, "Gerrick, train me. Let's work out." So it started out with like one client, 2 clients. Then it started like to grow.
So you can keep all this money.
Yeah, it's great money. So I was like, I'm already here. I'm chilling at my parents' house for like half a day on Saturday morning. I might as well like do something with it instead of just doing laundry. So basically, I started building a patio gym in my parents' backyard patio. One squat rack, some old dumbbell fans that turned into a full like 3 slot rack situation.
Wow,
It's backyard patio gym. My parents started getting annoyed at me because it was one client, it turned into like 15 clients. Of
course.
And then I started like taking outside to the yard, on the driveway. Eventually my parents were like, we don't want like this many cars in front of our house, so I started doing park workouts. So I did park workouts before park workouts were a thing during COVID. I did that in like 2017. I literally put everything into my car, I beat up 2010 Honda Accord, and then I carry all the weights, go to the closest park, do park workouts, have like straight up boot camps with like 20, 30 people. And those were like the core first King Strength clients.
Wow.
And then eventually, I think one of the clients...
Cranford was born.
Yeah, one of the clients started a GoFundMe page. 2 weeks later, there was like 10, 13 grand in it.
Really?
Yeah, and that's kind of the first influx of money into Cranford, and they were like, just open your own gym. And I always had the idea of it, but I never like really like figured out the timeline for it. And then I kind of told my wife Monica about it. She was like, you should just do it. Like you don't have to wait for me to like finish the work. Cause the way I did it, like the way I thought everything was like, she paid for everything when I was like first starting out and was in school. I kind of support her, do her thing. I wait for her to kind of figure out her thing until she established. So with the risk tolerance fight situation, she's like, just deal with kindness, go. So I didn't know what I was doing. I went on the LoopNet or Zillow or whatever it was at the time, and then I wanted to find something in the middle. So like between Jersey City, New York, Piscataway, Edison area, and I didn't know anything about towns. I didn't know anything about spaces. I just knew I went on like Google and I was like, what's the right size for opening up a gym? So it was like 2,500 to 3,000 square feet. So I went on the minute. I plugged that in, went for a warehouse, looked for like full gyms. Found Cranford. Didn't know negotiating at all. My first lease contract was terrible.
Yeah, it's probably terrible.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
Basically, figured out from there. I painted everything myself. I'd work my full-time job and do everything in New York.
Yeah.
Commute to the train to Cranford at night, build everything. I'd be going on Facebook Marketplace looking for like used gym equipment, like gym foreclosures, liquidations, buying CrossFit gym, like old CrossFit gyms selling their old stuff that's beat up. So first round at Cranford was like bare bones, one squat, like it was like one like road CrossFit rig situation with like 4 squat racks. We had all the gym equipment from my home patio gym and just like mad beat up old CrossFit.
But it was probably a great vibe.
Bro, it was really a great vibe. I loved it. But I guess Cranford, you really saw that like I didn't just buy things and blow out my credit. I was like buying things month to month as we were going out. We go to the building, and like I guess the clients kind of enjoyed that too. So that
we're seeing the progress of
yeah.
No, that's really cool. And then so you did that, and that was what 2018. That was in your
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then When did you first hire? When did you hire your first coach? Like, when did that happen?
Yeah.
And why? What happened, like, to make you do that?
Yeah. So
Or employee? Or
yeah. When I first started the gym, I wanted to. I never had like a really good family kind of situation growing up. When home, like family was tight, but we weren't close. So like we don't live together, but we do our own separate things. So like when I opened the gym, I wanted to be like that and fill the void, family kind of situation back.
Okay.
So like I want anybody who's working with me is to feel real tight. So that's kind of not the best leadership strategy, but that's kind of like the mentality that I was going through at the time.
Yeah.
So for me, I was doing everything. I was the janitor, I was the trainer, I was the sales guy, I was the marketing guy, I was everything. You know how I go for the clerk business, of course. So it was like 5 a.m. to like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. every single day. First couple months, like I loved that. I didn't care. I was like straight, like this is me, like money's coming in, like you're seeing like your effort kind of translate into like everything coming into place. But after a while, like it takes a toll on your relationships. Like I wasn't hanging out with my wife as much, my girlfriend at the time as much. I wasn't like talking to my family. Like, what do you guys like? You want to hang out? No, that work. I have to do. And then I was just getting burnt out, tired. I didn't realize it at the time that my body was breaking down. Like, I stopped working out. I stopped eating well. I was always there, so I was buying food all the time.
Yeah, and you're finishing at 9.
Yeah.
I was like, get something on the way home.
And like it topped about
Yeah.
topped it well on the way home.
Yeah.
But I didn't care. I didn't think about it. But after a while, all of that kind of compounds together, and you realize like, oh shit, like I'm not even like fit anymore. Like what happened?
Yeah, that's pretty common.
Yeah, it's really common. And then there was one day I'm like, what am I? There's a point like I loved it, and then one day I just like burnt out, and I was like, damn, why am I don't want to go to work right now.
Yeah.
Like it hit me out like a dry out, like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, I don't want to do this right now. And then that was like that first like mental crisis that you go through.
Yeah, I mean, Randy goes through it.
And then you're like, you realize like you don't know, like you've never managed anybody before, never had to work with anybody. I realized I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So like you had like that imposter syndrome that you like, I'm a really good like lone wolf, like single operator kind of entrepreneur. But once you add that other person, that other layer, there's a risk immediately involved in business because it's another person with ideas, another person with values, and if they don't click immediately with what you're doing, then it can totally you could disrupt the entire business and the entire operation.
Yeah.
Because like you could lead people. And for me, I guess that's insecurity, like kind of manifesting.
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, the biggest thing I can do is hire somebody from within. So who are my supporters? Who are my best clients and people that have been with me since day one? I care about loyalty more than like work ethic or anything like that over everything. So my first hires were my friends, the people that were clients that they were all part-time. That's kind of how our apprenticeship program started. People that didn't know anything about fitness, people that were just everyday people that wanted to kind of lean into what they're passionate about. And that's kind of where that idea came play.
Got it.
So my first couple of hires were just friends that were good at marketing, good at sales, or bodies that helped me teach classes.
They just want to be a part of it too.
Yeah, they just want to be part of the thing that we're building. They're excited about it.
Yeah, and that's what you want on your side. Yeah, sure. That's crazy. Now, obviously, we talk about like accountability charts, all that stuff. Like, I'm sure like then it was just kind of like all scramble, right? And you just kind of figure it out from there, right?
See, I'm still not good at accountability.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm good, but I just like I think you always have to update them, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's always, and you're always gonna second guess them. I'm going through right now at Ignite, and I've been through with countless businesses, but it's like Ignite's a different, it's a different animal.
Yeah.
So, and I thought it was gonna be easy, of course. Like after all this kind of stuff, that's gonna be easy, and it's like, there's a lot of support needed, and we're trying to figure out. Right now everybody just kind of hops on everything, and we're really trying to structure everything. And I'm going through it again, and I've been prompting ChatGPT probably for the last like 60 days to figure out the best method. There's actually a really cool test out there, and if anybody's listening as an entrepreneur, you should definitely do it. It's called a Gallup. It's like Gallup Strength or Clifton's 34, something like that. You Google it. I had my team take it, and it tells you like what you are. For me, it was visionary. 100%, and it was spot on. So we took all the results. I put into ChatGPT. I was like, tell me the best position do you think? And it was exactly what I thought. So I was happy about that. But definitely use that.
Yeah, we played around with different personality tests and things
Yeah.
like that. Like we did in gems, we did like this, Myers Briggs, all that.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh man, let me throw them at the team and just see what happens. And then you're like, why are you sending us all this stuff? But it's kind of like constantly finagling and figuring out team structure.
Yeah. And it's never like, I feel like it's never like set. Like we obviously change ours, all the time, every year. But I think we're getting better every year. I think that's,
People are down.
yeah. You know what the biggest thing was for me is like, but it's probably not the best way you should do this. But when we opened up next door, just kind of random, I just kind of left ref. Like I just didn't come back, and it was like 6 months probably. And I was still back.
Would take everything?
For sure it did. We had a pretty tough year, but a lot of learning, and we were down for a year and a half, and now we're coming back on stronger than we ever have been.
Good.
And we learned so much from it. It's not like we like dipped, but it was like stagnant, and it was not a good feeling.
Yeah, like that.
You
That's kind of what happened when I opened up like the third Livingston location.
Yeah.
All of your bandwidth and your attention is on this new thing. It's kind of like when you say like your businesses are like this, like when you focus on a new thing, the other one's kind of like
We'll struggle.
will struggle a little bit, and they'll want that attention.
But like also could grow.
Yeah,
it could grow, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like
Take a
my team grew. Like
they
people,
went up.
they kind of like created their own accountability charts that part. We had like a soft one, but it was like like Christine stepped up in the sales position.
Yeah.
She was there. Like Mike took more of a role, just organizing everybody. So it really did end up like helping us, but definitely a short-term hit for sure.
It depends on like if the people that you have on your team like want to succeed.
It's true. That is true.
They have just more care. They care about it. Is that if the team isn't right and they see dipping, they'll lose motivation with this dumb shit.
That is very true. So when you opened up, so what was the thought process opening up Metuchen then? So like what happened? Like you guys were at a good point, I'm sure, at Cranford, and you were just like, okay, like this is what I want to do. Go all in on it. Do you have Coach Step One or not?
No.
Okay.
Basically, I knew I wanted to have bigger impact. So like,
Yeah.
at the time, Cranford was doing really well. Everything was really good. One day, my wife and I were going on a date. I think sit to Metuchen. We literally I was looking for side streets, looking for parking. We literally parked on the street. My wife look at this, like looking on the side of the street. She saw like a empty for rent thing, and she's like, "Just look at this. This is nice." And I was like, "Nah, I don't want to do that." And then it's like kind of those things where you listen to your life, you don't listen to your life, and then you think it's your idea, and then you realize it's not really your idea.
Yeah.
So basically, a week later, I think I was on like LoonNet, and I was like, "Yo, look at this. This space is really nice."
And then that's how it started.
And that was the space.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then I didn't plan on doing another location, but I think Metuchen was like realistically like 5 minutes from my house, like my personal house.
Okay.
So like I was like, that'd be super convenient, super sweet to like just wake up, from my hair, if I could just go right there. So I did that. I didn't.
So you're bouncing back and forth.
Yeah. My entire team was definitely back and forth. I didn't
Got it.
do the full hire your own staff, treat it like a second true estate location. I just treated it like more clients,
Yeah.
bigger schedule.
Yeah.
So I was like, in my head, I was like, my trainers are getting more hours. They're gonna do more money. They're gonna be happy.
It's true.
And Hudson and Cranford aren't really that far away. They're like probably like 3-4 exits away from each other on
Okay.
Parkway.
Okay.
That's like a 15 minutes.
So that's like doable then for your
But-
coaches if they're down with it.
It's a 15-minute drive.
Yeah.
But you really built it. And that's the times that we work. It's okay. But I guess after a while, what I noticed the scroll where it began was the attention, because like the relationship with the clients, they started to kind of dwindle and kind of get spread thin.
Lose the community. Yeah.
Lose the community ethic a little bit, because people are going back and forth. You start to feel like that jealousy. Like I admit that first child gets jealous of the second child.
Yeah.
You're like, why does the second gen get all the brand new equipment that matches? Why does
I went through that too.
why do they get that? Why would I get that? How do they replace everything? So it was like turned into like a competition kind of thing. We kind of played into it. We're like, all right, maybe like we'll do like I think this is more like Avengers, like Captain America Civil War came out. Well, we'll play into like a Civil War thing. We'll do like location versus location.
There you go.
So we kind of tried doing that for a little bit, but it didn't work because the teams were the same trainers. The clients would be there, but like the trainers would be
Clients like, listen.
yeah, exactly. So then this is when I first got into business as Frank, because I did a band. Like Ann and I were like Instagram friends.
Yeah.
Monica's boss, Roshni from Jersey City, from whatever old jobs, she was working out with me, but she lived in Ridgewood.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, you should work out with Dan, like at Varsity House. It's in town, good spot. This is before I even talked to Dan. Like, I was like, go there, with a really good gym. She was like their first client.
Nice. Okay, that's funny.
Like straight up, and she referred everybody. So like, and Dan, I got really post on Instagram and started talking, and that's kind of how I got, was it this is Brian?
Yeah.
But that's kind of my first problem set with multiple locations, was that accountability chart. And it's still that accountability chart. It's like, all right, do I create 2 squads, and I kind of lead and cop through both channels and treat them like 2 locations? Do I have like a leadership team that is managing both, like their operation, and then I kind of just have trainers, and or do I just like do it like every man for himself, integrated? And I piloted and I tested every single variation of that throughout the last 3 years.
There's different ways to do it, man.
For like one way worked with one set of trainers, then your trainers move on and they start their own things, and that's just the part of life, and it's cool. But then when you bring out new trainers, they don't operate the same way, and then you gotta kind of adjust and do everything out a different way. So it's been good, kind of experimenting and figuring things out. But I think now we're at a point where things are kind of stable. We have good like leadership system, and everybody's owning their roles.
Yeah, I did notice that from afar. I feel like I thought Tebow and stuff like that. Yeah. He almost like he's like seems more on their role stuff.
He's dabbling with the sales now, so it's been great. I've been good with the marketing seat, with help with like Simmons and everybody helping me with content. So I'm really thankful for them, and for you guys at Ignite for helping organize up TRN, our communication. So I think for us, it's been just like more of like an organizational kind of situation, not from like a positional place, but from an actual organization.
Yeah, and people say like, don't focus on the people, which kind of sounds weird, like routine.
Yeah.
Focus on the process.
Yeah.
So like, because then like, people are gonna leave, and like you almost want some people to leave, like you want them to graduate if they want to. If somebody wants to open up their own gym, like go ahead and do it. Like
it's not competition.
No,
I have a lot of my former trainers have opened up gyms in like surrounding towns other than Arkham, and it's not competition for me. I don't think of it like, I'm not threatened by it. If clients want to leave and go work out of them, like it's fine by me, because like I look at it through like a data standpoint also. Like it's sad when people go, because like you have relationships with them, but they're going to be taken care of because the quality's good, and like from like a business standpoint, like you look at like KPI and stuff like that, like average lifetime value of a client, like for an industry is like, I think it's like 18 months.
Yeah.
Before somebody wants to go out. All my clients are like 4, 5, 6, 7 years plus.
Yeah.
So if they want to experiment and go somewhere else, it's not, it's not you.
Yeah.
It's not me that did it. It's like, it's their time. In fact, they knew it, or like they progressed, or they want to become a trainer, or which is cool too, or they want to they want to do the thing, and they feel like they've learned and they have that self-awareness to work out in different ways. That's great.
And for the client, like the clients that you expect them, we expect people to leave. Like we were counting the other day. We had like for a wrap, we had like 12 people this year, or maybe May, leave because they moved.
Yeah.
So like it's like, well,
you can't control it.
What can you do about that? Like shit, man. Like it's crazy.
And for us, like our target demographic for our clients it's like people my age. So like early 30s, 40s, 45. So we're slightly younger than everybody else in the group.
Yeah.
But young back, and also like first time parents. So we're in suburb town fiscal systems, and that's kind of the thing that I'm looking for. But obviously, people start with like their starter home. Well, if that's not big enough, then they outgrow it. So you have to kind of anticipate that.
For sure.
You kind of have to do that.
And it's funny, you guys are. It's like our age, like people, it's like almost, it's getting like really popular to like be a part of a gym now. Not just like your average, like, you know, LA Fitness, like be a part of an actual gym and training.
That's a big thing for me, like philosophy wise. Like, there, you know how people talk about, like, I think I was really into like psychology and sociology. I was like in college.
Yeah.
So like your first place is like your home, your second place is your place of work, and then your third place is like your community space. So like I think that's like Ray Odenberg or something like that. Basically, our space for like, I want our gym to be a space where people socialize, they come together, they feel like that connection. So that's why we do more than just gym things. Like we have like mom clubs, run clubs. We go out like trips together. We go out to eat all the time. We try to do like, we have a shitload of workshops. We try to bring in other gym owners, kind of experience things.
It's important, and I think like community keeps people in your gym, right? So like I mean like that, like this week there's doing in that school we're doing a it was called wine and weights with
people come out
with old mods, and then like the next week is like the I think next month is barbells and brews, something like that, whatever it is.
My first round of trainers was like, young trainers don't understand that concept of community and connection.
That is,
they just want to train, and they just want to,
and they think like these people have like their hours or whatever.
They're like, what's the programming? I want to do programming. Like, well, all the meetings will be programming, and if you go to like all of our community now, it has nothing to do with programming. Like, let's talk about programming for like 5 minutes. Like, you know, programming, you understand it, cool. Now it's like, this person is getting married. This person is this person just like their mom just died. This person, like their kid, it's their kid's birthday. So it's like really knowing the people, and they don't really understand. The newer trainers don't understand how much time commitment it takes to nurture all these relationships. Like, I had a trainer come up to me like, and they're like, "Why do we have so many weekend events? Like I never have time on weekends. Like, we're always at a fair, we're always at a party, we're always doing a workshop, we're always doing events, we're always doing a sparring race 5K, and we're always hanging out with people." And I always tell my team when I hire them that we're not just trainers, we're everybody's most expensive friend.
Yeah.
And that
is very true.
And we see people more than they see their family sometimes. So we'll see people 2 times a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, sometimes 6 times a week for that hour, and it's their hour of escape from real life. Sometimes, I mean, that's really, really important. It's really, really impactful, and that's you can't take that for granted, because the way you carry yourself in that hour is really going to affect their life.
Yeah,
enough.
And getting that message across to your team, like, because they could be on the floor for like 10 hours a day in the last session, you're still there. The client's first session.
They don't care.
So it doesn't matter. Like, you gotta be on it and be ready to go. Like, oh, listen, the programming obviously is important, but like, you have that down and you have that set. Like, listen, like, you lift weights, you move. Like, that's all you need. That's especially for adults, right? Like, if you're a high, you know, athlete, of course, it's a little bit different. But I mean, look, it's really not that hard, you know, in that sense. But you know, what really is hard is making them actually like it and do what they want it to say, and can be consistent with it.
Yeah.
So that is the tough part, and it's hard getting that message across to young coaches. Right.
We literally last night, a bunch of the coaches at our Fairbucket gym. One of our clients living in Seattle. We literally went out on a Wednesday night
with them
for dinner. We were out 7 p.m. all the way to like 10:30. We just had dinner. It was fun.
Yeah.
And there's like little things like that. Like it's the stuff that's outside of the gym that matters the most.
And even though they're leaving, like, doesn't matter. It's like they're gonna tell 1,000 people about that.
No, exactly. And so I've been helping her trying to find gyms over there.
Yeah.
Like, we do a remote programming. Like, driver still getting it on that. It's not like goodbye. It's so it's like a see you later kind of thing.
So what? So Gerrick, what's next for King Strength? Like, what do you guys just work on the system? And dialed in. You know, I know like some people have a 5-year vision. I don't like that personally. Like, I have a soft one, but like, everything changes every year, so I don't like that really personally. But what are you thinking next? You know, what's next?
For me personally, like, everybody in business of strength always ask me this question. They're like, 5-10 years, what do you want to do? Open up more locations? Like, for me, like, it's not that I don't have the answer for that. It's how I always look at things from the perspective of family. So it's like, for me, I feel fulfilled now. I'm not saying I don't want to grow anymore. I definitely want to grow, but it's like there's different phases of life. Like for me, like you don't get your time back as a parent. You if it means me slowing down a little bit, totally fine. But it's not.
So these are
It's not easy, man.
yeah.
I'm still going to work. I'm still doing all my work. But for me, it's developing the team, having them have clarity and owning their roles. We're focusing on more mentorship. So kind of, Dan and Jill always say leads and leadership. So for me, like with the help of you, leads are covered. With the help of Simmons, social media is good. So leads are good. And then we have the flow.
Yeah.
And for me, like helping keep up with the sales. So now it's kind of focusing on that leadership aspect. So it's kind of consistent team meetings, more events, presence, giving people feedback and support, really developing roles. Because the only way for a business to grow is for the people to grow.
Yeah, it's like now you're mentoring your staff.
So now I'm mentoring my staff, mentoring other people too.
Yeah.
Friends, business owners, kind of going from there. Organically, what I would like to do, people have always asked me to kind of figure out the franchise setup or opening up more locations. So, and for me, I don't really like the idea of franchising because you lose. I think the appeal of our business is like the family atmosphere, small, and it's really hard to systematize that. Like the people situation, you know, and that's why I think my Livingston situation didn't work out. And for me, that was the experiment for the franchise setup. I had team members that were really good at certain avenues of the sales and the marketing and the coaching. And I was like, all right, if I have that, I can experiment with another location.
Yeah.
So I did that, went through there, but I realized that you use the core, like they were good at these individual things, but together it wasn't cohesive, and it didn't come into like a community culture that
It wasn't King's.
it wasn't the feel. It was a good gym, but it wasn't King's Strength.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying like what you said in the beginning when I had to have my hands in everything. It's not that at all.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just knowing the people.
But you want your correct stamp on it, though.
Exactly, and that's the hard piece.
That's understandable.
And so like for me, if I develop my staff and they're passionate about it, I know I've been focusing a lot. People always focus on entrepreneurship. I'm focusing a lot more on entrepreneurship. So everybody on my team, like T-Bone, he does all the stuff for me, really high level in our game. But he also has passion projects.
Yeah.
So he has like his capping apparel thing that he does. So I'm really good with merch design, graphic design. I've been helping him with that, e-commerce, things like that. And another person on my team, Gabby, she wants to do like youth strength, like youth performance, support performance. So it's how do I use the King class woman to elevate her, to help her create her thing.
Yeah.
And if there's a phase where it overlaps and she helps us build a system like that,
Great.
I'd rather her trial and error with us,
Yeah.
and not risk anything on her end, than go on her own and completely fail and then just leave in the street being crushed. So if she can build it and then take that template and use it herself, why would you not do that?
Well, and that's very fulfilling too. That's like the point you're at, is helping others succeed too. Like, and that's that's for me too. And like my focus now is like just getting my time back as much as possible. Exactly. You put in a lot of hours and work over the last whatever it is, 10 so years.
I think it's hard for the younger trainers to see because when they see me and they see like I think they value work ethic as hours. On the floor hours, training hours, and when they see me, and they like sometimes I'll train a lot, like when I want to at nuggets and stuff like that. But sometimes I'll just show up and I'll tell beginner.
Yeah.
They don't know what I'm doing. So a lot of times, if you're not clear with what you're doing, they see me not doing anything. Maybe I'm just going on Instagram. Maybe I'm just on email. Maybe I'm just like.
And they don't see the 4M emails.
Yeah, they don't see that.
The rent checks, all that stuff.
So I've been trying to be more aware and cognizant of that to kind of expose them to what I'm doing. So it's like I'm not trying to validate to them that this is what I'm doing with my time, but I want to expose them and show them that there's different avenues. Like the training part of the business, it's a very small portion of the business, and there's there's finance, sales, marketing, operations, growth, community management. It is a business, and it's different portions. And for me, I think where it gets interesting, what I was saying was the entrepreneurship. I want to take the trainers who only put on training and try to pull them out of it and teach them the other facets. So if somebody's interested in sales, like I'll show them and expose it to them. Somebody's interested in marketing, social media, or designing thing, I'll show it to them.
And it's only going to improve your business too.
Yeah, because then they feel that fulfillment, like they're getting growth and they're learning and it's education, but they're also, it's helping the business because it's alleviating pressure and the delegation. And at first it takes time and investment because you're teaching them and they're gonna mess up and it's totally okay. But after a while, when they're really into it, like they feel passionate about it and they want to do well because it's like you took the time to invest in me.
So it's rewarding for them.
It's rewarding for them too, and they feel gracious and gratitude about it.
Yeah,
and that's a big thing.
No, we're without a doubt. And I'm teaching somebody right now like the whole meta ad side. And it's tough. It's like I'm at a lot on my day, so I'll try to teach her how to like see everything from my eyes, and it's very very hard to. There's so many like technicalities.
It's really easy to mess up.
Every change, yeah. So it's like going back and like for me it's like it's an investment of my time into it. So and then they could leave, that stuff's a possibility. But all right, Gerrick. So somebody that's younger listening in the training world that wants to potentially be like you, open up gyms, things like that. What advice are you giving to that 25-year-old right now that's out there training sessions? Like, what's one piece of advice you can give them?
Yeah, I think a lot of people when they start out training, they're afraid of taking risks. So it's the same as doing, it's the same as everything else. People want to wait until everything feels perfect. So they don't want to pull the trigger on anything or take that entrepreneurial jump until they feel like they learn to understand everything. So the thing about the beauty about entrepreneurship is you just have to do it. Like nobody knows how to do anything. You'll realize as you go that nobody actually knows what they're doing. So you just gotta not be afraid. If you're passionate about something, things will get figured out. If you want it bad enough, it will happen. You just have to take the risk, do it, and then you'll learn as you go. It's like all the new trainers want to get as many certifications as possible. So stably just get the first one, and then just learn how to read books about technology, how to talk to people, how to communicate with people, work with people, and find mentors that are where you want to be, or people that you kind of want to learn from that way. Talk to them as much as possible. Be a sponge, and then it's all about learning. But if people are only focused on learning and they're not focused on applying action, they're not act on action.
It's so true.
It's just action. Like for me, I think when I started the gym, I was like a straight shooter. I would just go, and that is what put me really, really ahead in the beginning. So I wasn't afraid to mess up. I would do things, I'd mess up, I learned my lesson. And a lot of people were like, Gerrick's reckless, Gerrick's crazy. That's the thing. But that got me started. It's the momentum.
That's us.
And then after a certain level, you realize like I have to slow down because there's people that I work with and there's lives at stake. And there's livelihoods. So now that kind of forced me into that business mastermind situation where it's like, I need to slow down, I have to refine my processes. But when you're first getting started, just go, it's totally fine.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing's wrong with that Nothing's wrong with that in the beginning, but after a while, when you get to that when your business gets to a certain level, that's when you start organizing and doing that.
You have to.
So just don't be afraid, go for it, and make that jump. You're going to learn as you go, and then you'll figure it out.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate it, Gerrick. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Thanks.